Hi YouTube, I just got back from the flea market here in Taiwan and I want to share with you the pickups that I got there this morning. I got there quite early this morning, about 8:30. Now you're probably thinking that's not early for a flea market, but in Taiwan people don't usually get up until quite late, especially on the weekends when shops don't open until about 11 usually. So 8:30 for the flea market, that's actually turned out to be quite early. The guy that I usually go to hadn't unpacked yet, and I asked if he had any new games in and he didn't, so I took a look around. Came across one stall which has DVDs, usually sells DVDs and CDs and stuff, but she had a bunch of Famicom games today. And unfortunately she wanted 50 each and she would not budge on the price. There was no room for haggling, so I ended up just buying 4, which is okay, but usually in Taiwan games go for about 30 to 50 each, which is about $1 to $2 US, and you can usually haggle on the price. So you can usually bundle 3 together for 100, which is about $3. But she wouldn't budge, and I missed out on a bunch of Mega Drive games last time, so rather than miss out, I just picked up 4. So they're quite interesting. Obviously there's a few bootlegs here, or maybe they're all bootlegs, but it's impossible to collect Famicom games in Taiwan and not collect bootlegs. Most of the games are bootlegs. If you didn't collect bootlegs, then your collection would be pretty bare. So the first one here is Super Mario Bros. 6. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's Yoshi's Island. I'm not sure. I need to check that out. Over here there's Super Mario Bros. 10, which could be Super Mario 3. I'm not sure. This one's interesting because it actually says Hudson on the case, but Nintendo up at the top. So I'm not sure what this is. Obviously there's Mario in the middle. And then this one, I'm not sure what this is either. I need to check this out as well. So rather than go away with only 4 Famicom games this week, after I went to that flea market, I decided to hit up another which is close by. And luckily I found a bag which was at the back of one stall, which I saw a Super Famicom sticking out of. It's pretty beat up, but I asked the guy how much he wanted for it, and he said 300, which is $10 US, which seems a bit much for the Famicom given the condition. But I'm actually repairing another Famicom, which has an issue with sound. So you can hear there's some really rattling inside, but I'm hoping that I can salvage some of the parts out of this to fix my other Super Famicom. But I've seen some other stuff in the bag. So I saw a Game Gear here, and there's a PS2 inside. So I asked him how much for the whole bag, and he wanted 800, which is about 25 US, I guess. But I offered him 20. And he took it. So I tested this Game Gear already, and this works. Luckily there's a game in the bag, which seems to have protected the card slot. This actually still works. I tested this a few minutes ago. I don't know much about PS2s. I never had a PlayStation, but it looks to be the first model, the fat one. But I don't know, there's no cables with it, so I won't be able to test that one for a while. Something I did notice though was that the SNES actually came with the AV cable, which if you buy on its own is probably going to be about 3 or 4 US. And also there's a controller here, PlayStation controller, and a power supply for the Nintendo, but it's a third-party power supply, but I've got my own here anyway. Also there was a Super Scope receiver. I don't have a Super Scope, but that's something else. Some other controller cables. Looks to be for a joystick adapter. So after buying all that stuff, I came across another guy who was selling a Saturn. Now he only wanted 150 Taiwan dollars for this, which is 5 US. But he made it clear that he didn't know if it worked or not. But I did notice that it says on the top Hitachi. This is some kind of media player from Hitachi. I don't know much about this. I need to do some research, but in the back is actually a VCD movie card. So hopefully I'll be able to test that out and watch some VCDs. But it seems to be in pretty good condition. It's not physically damaged on the outside. But he also had this wireless gamepad, which seems to be brand new, and he only wanted $3 US for this. So the thing I noticed though is that the controller itself doesn't have the Sega logo on it, whereas the receiver does. So I don't know whether this is the actual controller that goes with the receiver or not, but it's in great condition, so hopefully that still works. And I also got a couple of controllers with it as well. Lastly, I went to one other guy which I bought an N64 off a couple of weeks back, and he usually has Famicom games, so I took a look at what he had. He gave me these three for $100. So there's Excite Bike, which I think is a legit cart. I'm not sure. I think so. This one, and then a Sega Saturn game, which I hope is a full game on a cartridge and not some kind of memory expansion, because that'll give me a way to test out whether or not this console works or not. Alright, so I'll test all these out and hopefully have another video with some gameplay of these carts.